If you're on Zoom, you can ask me directly. Stella and several of you asked last week about seeing the red, so I thought that's what we would do today. And I wanted to go over the C lab and kind of from the perspective of our color chart, how we look at the reds, which is different, of course, or can be, than what you see. So it's not, you know, art is kind of one of those, or color is kind of one of those. There's not a super definitive line. It doesn't take that much in terms of dilution to push it over to a different spectrum. So let me show you what I'm looking at. So we can go there together. I'm going to change my video. There we go. Okay, so we're going to look at the C lab colors and make sure you can see it. Here we go. Okay, so these are the reds that we're going to be looking at today. The camera's one way and I'm the other way. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go, there's organic vermilion, there's pyrrole scarlet. So there's some that are actually in what I call the cool, which is like Quinacridone Pink. So I'm going to show you why that's part of the reds. There's Quinacridone Lilac, which is kind of a more magenta. We also have Quinacridone Magenta, but that's actually more blue. Quinacridone Rose, Opera Pink, actually falls really high into the red. Rose Madder Permanent, Rhodonite Genuine, Wisteria, and Ultramarine Red. Ultramarine Red because the red ends up floating to the top, so you see more red in the spectrum, and that's what the photospectrophotometer is seeing. Again, this is what a machine is seeing, not necessarily what you see as the artist, which can be, you know, different, which is absolutely fine. So what I did is I took cross section, and this is the C lab right here, and this is the section we're looking at right here, which is the reds. And the reddest red is going to be on this line right here, and it would be 060 would be the reddest red right here. That would be the reddest red possible. So anything out here on this line is super red. So we're going to look at that in a second. But right here becomes the violets. So anywhere in this area is kind of a red. And here is the orange. So anything in this area is a red. As we come out of here, we start seeing orange. As we come out of here, we start seeing violet. So I'm just talking about this area right here. Okay. And this is why your eyes can be different than the machine, because you can see this and understand it. And that's why sometimes, you know, what we might call a violet, you might call a red, which is fine. This is just how we're looking at the color wheel, which very soon, probably within a month, you'll be able to play with it live on the system. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. So let's look at this. If we take, for example, so what I want to do, and when you're looking at this, what I want to do is I have my yellow and my blue, I have my green and my red, right? So just different axes. So if I want to find red, I want to find the highest number on my A, and I want to find the lowest number on my B. So when I look at that, if I were to see, for example, Quinacridone Pink, the issue about Quinacridone Pink and why it falls into the red, it's out here about 61, so it's out here somewhere, which is really on the red, and it's only 2 down. So it's like right in here, which is really from the C lab is a very, very good red. If I was to look at a Anthranic Scarlet, that's a 55, so it's somewhere in this area right here, and it is upside down, 36.5. So it's kind of right up in this area, right up in here. So that's kind of what I was doing when I picked out the reds for us to play with today. And you might say, well, wait a minute, aren't all reds within this warmest area? No, they can be in the warmest area. And they can also be right here, which is the cool. So these are the cooler in here. And these are going to be the much, much warmer or warmest up in here. So this is the warm quadrant. And there's none that we have in the warm quadrant. This is the warmest quadrant, which the most are. This one is the cool quadrant. And so they're right in here between the red and the violet. There's none in the coolest. There's none in here. There'll be tests later on. And no, there's no test later on. So for those of you, and I know there's lots of you like that, like plotting and looking at things and understanding it from both sides, both from the art side and the color wheel side, and also from the more quantitative or the color mapping side, you can choose either or both. Just, I always like it because the more tools you can put in your toolbox, the better. And if you would like me at some point to go over this more, I'd be glad to do it because it's actually quite fun. Over a cup of coffee, you can actually do this in your head because it's just super easy to do. Okay, so with that, I picked some of the colors and that were outside of what you would normally think would be the red. For example, I just need glasses. This is the Paranone Orange. The Opera Pink we had talked about. I'll show the Opera Pink. Opera Pink, we're going to be right over in here. So this is the reddest that it can be. It's going to be right over in here. So why don't we look at some of those?
John?
Yes.
Do you ever look at data like that with regards to degrees Kelvin?
No.
No. Color temperature.
Because degrees Kelvin would be a heat index. Are you saying Kelvin with a K?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be more of a heat index, not a color index.
Right. And do you ever use that machine to look at colors outside of the visible spectrum to see if that has an effect on the paints themselves?
No, we look at all the colors under multiple light sources. So we have that ability, but everything that we're going to do is going to be in the visible, right? Because it's artists. So anything outside that, that's not going to matter to us. So why don't we look at some? Which one do you have, Anna?
You said we were starting with Opera Pink, and so I'm activating it like Giovanni taught us right at the tip.
Awesome. Ethel, can you send everybody the colors that were in the red?
Sure, I'm just about to do that.
Thank you.
It's in the chat now.
So I'll show you something an artist. It's probably an artist that you know. So let me flip this back up. So this was done by Lauren McCracken, and it is all of our reds. So he did a color study of reds and did it with peppers and used all the reds. So pretty cool.
Awesome.
I love how the greens are so important in making those reds so powerful.
Yeah, they make them pop, don't they?
And the darks.
So this is Wisteria. And this is Opera Pink. It's the one that Anna has.
And what is that color, John?
This is Matter Permanent. We stopped making that genuine. So Rose Madder Genuine was actually from the Rose Madder root. It was a late pigment, and it was just very difficult to get the color to match time and time again. So we discontinued it. So this one's extremely close. And this one is Quinacridone Rose. So Quinacridone Rose, that PV19. So many of you ask about the quinacridones. How come quinacridone doesn't make a blue? And from what we've been told, I mean, they're a big mammoth chemical house. They can make anything. The reason they don't make the quinacridone blue is it can't compete with the phthalose. The cost point of the phthalose compared to the quinacridone is so much cheaper, and it's such a unbelievably vibrant color. What is that one, Anna?
Quinacridone Rose, I'm adding it to the swatching.
And then the yellow, they've never done, as far as I know, they have never done the yellow. They've done a brown yellow, which is the quinacridone. But as a chemical house, chemistry house, for them, it's just a matter of who's going to pay, who's going to buy the color. Mysterium, Rose, and this was Ultramarine Red. So the Ultramarine Red is Ultramarine Blue with a red, and the red kind of floats up. That's why it's more reddish.
Could you please repeat what you said there, John?
Yeah, the quinacridone, the ultramarine red is an ultramarine with a red, and so the red kind of floats to the top, which is why you see it being more red.
Ah,
In that case, John, paint, don't we? But
Ultramarine is definitely in the blue.
what gives it that name, ultramarine, if it's a red?
It's ultramarine red, which means it's the mix of two different pigments.
Right.
And so it's the red portion of it that floats to the top, which gives it, pushes it to the red spectrum.
But it has a blue in it.
Yes, it does.
Right.
So you'd expect that to be, so ultramarine red is 23 and 12. So 23 is going to be in this area, minus 12 is going to put it in this area. So that's why you see it's on the red blue line right here.
Yeah.
Angela, what color are you painting with right now? Ah, okay, thank you.
So this is Quinacridone Lilac. And Quinacridone Lilac is kind of interesting. Quinacridone Lilac has kind of a magenta to it. So it's has the red, whereas the Quinacridone Magenta actually has a blue undertone. So
John, what are the colors after the Rose Mother and the Quinacridone Rose?
are you talking to me, Angela?
Yes, please.
What was your question?
After the Quinacridone Rose, what color did you paint?
This is Quinacridone Pink,
Ah, Quinacridone Pink. Okay.
and this is Quinacridone Lilac.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
So, you know, in looking at these, when I look at these, and probably you can see, you could pretty much see it on the screen. Sometimes the screen isn't, but it's good enough to see right away. Most people would pick this one out and say, well, that's not a red. And, you know, it falls right on that line. As you might say, I don't want to consider that to be a red. You kind of see the little bit of a red undertone, but very small. And so this is how a machine is pushing back the numbers that we would apply then to the C-Lab. So these are the ones that kind of are more,
Pinkish.
yeah, more more pinkish, more. We do the.
What?
So these are actually all the reds on the list that you probably have, and I think Ethel has shared it with you. These are all the reds. So we have, you know, permanent red, deep, very obvious one. The permanent red, the Paraline red, Paraline scarlet, Pyrrole red, it's like a fire engine red, Pyrrole scarlet, Cad red, Carmen, I'll put Carmen out. Carmen's the one to look at. What one's on the fringe? Because I kind of like fuchsia. I'm not going to put fuchsia. So I get mica in my water. Garnet. red earth. English red ochre. Let me try some of these out, show you these.
John,
Yes.
does Daniel Smith do a peach colour? And if so, is that a more of an orange derivative?
Yeah, I'm thinking peach probably would be maybe
Quinacridone coral.
yeah, in this area right here, maybe,
Right, yeah.
or maybe
Yeah.
right in this area. Maybe right in this area.
Mhm.
Does anybody that used the colors would recommend a peach color to?
The orange goes towards peach real quickly, real easy. Yes, the pyrrole orange.
Yeah, I've looked at that today, pyrrole orange. It is, I can imagine if you lightened it up a bit, it would be quite peachy, that.
Right.
I would consider desaturating the quinacridone coral or a similar orange with a white,
Yes.
and that would desaturate it and bring out that peach
Right.
color
Yeah,
that you're
okay.
looking for. The same way that we desaturate lavender with the white, the white would desaturate into a peach with an orange color.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm having really good luck with nickel azo yellow,
Mm,
nickel azo yellow with quin coral together, making peach skin tones.
yeah, that would work, I would imagine, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you show that, Anna? Please.
If you give me a few moments, I'll
John, there's
Yes.
a request from Valerie from Facebook. If maybe we could have the first set of colors shown on screen again so that she could take note of the colors swatched.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
I've been
Gee.
developing a new palette with more of the quins, and here I have some really nice corals.
Oh, yeah,
with
nice.
it, and the peach colors right here, and it goes both towards the yellow side, and in the camera doesn't pick it up well, but it goes both on the peach side, the pink side, and on the yellow side. So that's quin coral, azo yellow, quin gold. You can see it in a lot of the portraits. The camera doesn't pick up how strong prismatically this palette is in picking up these really nice peaches.
Mm,
Here's another really, the camera just doesn't pick that up. These are stunning, stunning pinks, peaches, delicate oranges, and that's a very clean palette with quin gold, Nico Azul yellow, quinacridone coral, quinacridone rose, and then start going into phthalo blue.
yeah, you can see a little bit of that afterglow of that Nicolas Oyella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice, Anna.
Yeah.
That's more of the, yeah. I'm playing with a new palette with the quins, and that has some really nice peaches, but I'm pushing against it because it's very prismatic and I'm wanting a little bit more desaturation.
That's lovely, Anna.
Excellent.
So that has peaches in with the purple.
Uh-huh.
There we go. And this is for Raphael. That's the palette. That's for Raphael. Thank you.
Thank you. Giovanni, can you show the colors that we've done so far, since you labeled this so well?
I show my little palette of reds. and write the name. It's very simple, but very effective. It's a beautiful palette of red. Okay. Now after this, I'll show them the mixes of various red.
Giovanni, am I correct in understanding that you have laid those out in the same order that John has been describing them? That's in.
No, I use the list sending, the John sending list on the chat. The order.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Giovanni, can you also comment, looking at the screen, can you see, are there colors that the screen does not pick up with integrity? So there's colors that would be brighter or different?
I'm sorry? Can you repeat, Anna?
Do you see any differences? Do you see any differences on the screen looking at your colors than you do right there in front of you? Is there any variance?
Not yet, but little difference, yes. Well, very little, because I have my monitor little calibrated, and is little difference. But it's okay.
I believe you can share photos on the screen. Has anybody tried that?
So these are the colors that I did first, because I know that not everybody has all the colors with them today. This was the Wisteria. This is the Opera Pink. This is the Quin Pink, the Rose Madder, Ultramarine Red. This is the Quin Rose, and this is the Quin Lilac. Let me have you guess at this one, see if you can guess what it is.
Angela, beautiful combination. I like it.
Isn't it?
Piemonte.
Said
This one is.
You're right. Whoever said that was right.
Million red.
Piemonte. That's me.
Uh-huh.
Damn, you're good.
One of my favorites.
Angela is having great fun.
And you would if we could see you
Yes.
hiding.
I did some 8 lines.
Show us, show us. This Aussie red gold goes so well with the reds.
Rose, cadmium, red medium. And I intentionally put garnet genuine just to see the difference between reds.
What? It looks like a big difference, Besnick.
Yeah, actually it's like brownish. I intentionally put it.
Yeah.
What color is that?
Garnet genuine.
Garnet. Oh.
Yeah.
More brownish.
So which one do you think this is right here?
Red
Potter's pink?
oxide.
Is it Potter's pink, John?
Potter's Pink?
It's Potter's Pink.
Yeah,
guys-
I
Second
recognize,
Wow.
I recognize because it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Nick, can you speak a moment and explain why it's one of your favorites?
Why is it one of my favorites, you said, Anna?
Yes, can you explain why it's one of your favorites?
This one, Potter's Pink that John showed it. I don't know, I just love it. It's so neutral. It's also, it has some effects of a little bit of granulation. And whenever I use it, it gives me, I am satisfied with that color. It's just like a ready done unique color in the tube and no need for me to mix it with some other color to get the satisfied color. It's really nice one.
A lot of times with watercolor pigments and paints, they have secondary characteristics like the granulations and how they handle come off the paintbrush and interact with other pigments. Can you speak to that a little bit about the secondary characteristics? About how it behaves?
Not too much granulation, but it gives enough of that effect. I love the color, how it looks, and also it gives me a little bit granulation. It's so nice when I paint some building or whatever.
Ian, are you doing reds?
Sorry?
Are you doing reds?
Correct.
Me? Stella, are you asking me or who?
No, Ian. He's showing something.
Last week, Angela were talking to us about Luna Black, and she put yellow in it, and she made a really nice picture. So I thought I'll have a look. Other colours go nice with this Luna Black, and that's just a little experiment with one or two different colours. I particularly like this Pyrrole Orange. Unfortunately, my camera's the wrong way around.
Yeah, but it looks good.
They come up nice. That's nice as well. The both titanium and the black. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Turquoise. Turquoise. Forget that.
Potter's Pink is like a dark color, isn't it?
Sort of dusty, I think.
Yeah.
Not for me. It's not too dark. It's
right here.
Really beautiful color. I don't know how to. It's not too dark.
No, it's not.
Soft.
Second
It's
one.
very soft.
It granulates a lot.
Mm-hmm.
With the granulation.
Oh, Angela, I like this effects of mixing. Did you use Potter's Pink? Some.
Yes,
Yeah.
the one on the right is Potter's Pink. And the one before is
Some of the
Anthranic Scarlet. I love this color.
Queen Scarlet, right?
Anthranic Scarlet. But I found that this Anthranic Scarlet with the nickel laser yellow, that's quite a pinkish or peach color, a little bit, no?
Mm-hmm. Very warm.
Yeah.
Stella,
and
what's your
Potter's
favorite
Pink
red?
is fantastic.
Stella, what's your favorite red?
My favorite, Pirate Red and Pyrrole Orange.
Both on your set.
Yes, they are the strongest reds. But I never use them, just one color. I always put warm and cool. But
Do you have a
Pyrrole Scarlet is a wonderful color, and Pyrrole Red.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference about Pyrrole Orange versus transparent Pyrrole Orange?
I think Pyrrole Orange, I prefer than the transparent. Is how should I say? No, now I'm in Bulgaria, guys, and my gosh, my translation is horrible. It's more solid. And I love to exchange it, the more transparent with a more solid color.
Carolyn Deville has a suggestion for peach mix. She said Naples and a little Quinacridone coral makes a beautiful peach.
Mm.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
I today added another 11 colours to my big set. I don't know. It might not be, but might be too bright.
Piemontite.
That's beautiful, Ian.
Yeah.
I'll show it you in because there's a lot of reflection there. But one of the reds I added today were, if I can, where are we? There. In saying that, is it a red? That one there.
Which color is it?
Organic.
Organic
vermilion.
Ah, yes.
Now, is that a red or is it an orange? I don't know.
And Pyro Scarlet is beautiful too.
Yes,
Ian, are you asking the machine?
yellow reds.
Are you asking the machine if it's a yellow or an orange or a red, or are you asking the artist? Right?
No, that's right. Yes, that's very different.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
both to me, sometimes it looks like it's like everything. It's relative, isn't it? Put
So
it
from the
round
sea
the right
lab,
thing.
it's a red.
It's a red,
from
is
the-
it?
From the
Yeah,
sea lab, it's a
that's
red.
right.
In color theory, we only see color in context of other color. So it's going to depend on what you put next to it, right?
Yeah. So to me, at the moment, it's surrounded by white, so it looks like a pinky red. But if I were to put that against something else, it would probably look really strong red.
Oh,
Angela, which one did you put on bottom of this mixes? Angela, you hear me?
Sorry. Yes, this one.
On
Quinacridone
bottom,
Red.
which
No,
looks
this
like
one.
brownish.
This one
yes.
you mean?
Yes,
This is Piemontite.
Piemontite.
Yeah, it goes very well with Potter's Pink.
Yeah, I agree.
It is like the same family.
yes, it's similar hues.
Yeah, and also very granulating.
It's got a pinkish cast when there's lots of water.
The Piemontite.
Yes.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Gosh, you learn to pronounce them perfectly, Angela.
Which one? Piemontite. But you're an expert.
Yes.
This one is Quinacridone Red.
Mhm. Started
Which one do
late.
you want me to mix it with? Wait, you cannot see it. Okay, now you can see it. Which one shall I mix it with?
Organic vermilion.
Organic vermilion. Let me try to find it first.
Sorry.
John, what are you putting there? They look more brownish. Which one are those?
So these are a lot of these are earth. So this one is English red ochre, actually English red earth. This one is carmine. This is red jasper.
Mm-hmm.
This is garnet, like Besnick was talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
It's way more red here than it is on the screen. Excuse me. This is transparent red oxide.
It's also more red in real life, I think.
Yeah,
On the
much
screen.
more here than on the screen. And this
It's a great
is
color.
Minnesota
Mhm.
Minnesota pipestone right there.
They do not look on the screen. Yeah. Very well.
I'm
For me,
looking
I
at the
see
dot
them
card
so
at the
similar.
same time.
On my screen, they look so original colors. Maybe you have some issues with monitor, maybe to calibrate.
Yeah.
Oh, no, with the light, maybe the
Stella, in my monitor, I see these colors very nice.
No, they're matching mine very. This one
Today?
here, This here,
Oh.
the light's washing these out because I have the camera facing here, but these are.
Yes, the light is washing them out.
These are really close.
I would
Mhm.
be interested to hear Giovanni's comment since his screen is corrected, color corrected.
John, there's a quick question from Buffy. Is the color to the left of Carmen, is that English red earth?
The
left-
light washes
left,
it out.
Left, yes.
This
Yeah.
is English red earth.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sorry, can you talk a little bit about that color, John? On my monitor, it looks almost like a skin tone.
Yeah, pretty close here as well. It's
Mhm.
very light.
Is it very granulated?
It is not
Not,
anywhere as
doesn't-
granulating as like the Potter's Pink or the Red Jasper, which are much more granulating.
Okie doke, adding to shopping cart. Thank you. Beautiful.
Christmas is coming.
Oh, what a long list we have.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday, yes. Better don't come because you want them all.
What the guests were missing is that we were also talking earlier about how to store the equipment, and it was getting expensive about all the different things we were looking at. There was some really good suggestions out there with our peers. Really good.
I think
It was
that,
getting expensive for me.
I think that Daniel Smith should come up with help for the painters, a storage solution.
Yeah, like a nice tackle box, right?
Something like that, yes.
We had our
Machine
store.
tackle.
We sold all of that stuff at one time.
That's right, in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was everything there.
What's it? Best tool I've had for keeping paints and things in is a proper fishing tackle box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, tackle boxes work really well. There's a company called Plano, Plano, and they make every type of tackle box and storage box you can think of.
Mhm.
We no longer do that because just not going to be in competition with the retailers. But I'm sure your local art supply company has some awesome, and some hardware stores as well. Everybody's saying there's different toolboxes you can buy, and there's just a ton of stuff.
That's
I have my
Ooh.
grandpa's old fishing tackle box.
I'm sorry?
I use my grandfather's old fishing tackle box.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Angela, that looks
That's cool.
three-dimensional, beautiful.
This one, right? Yes.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the red jasper. And this is the organic vermilion, as Anna asked. And this is the the Anthranic Scarlet. But what a beautiful combination, no?
Hmm. For your pomegranates, Angela.
That's true. Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Angela, could you speak a little bit about your technique of laying the color? Because this is unique and it's beautiful and it's so loose and free. And I know a lot of us strive to be that loose and free with our
I tell you a secret. I tell you a secret. Don't promise not to say it to anybody. You need to put a lot of color, a lot, and then water. That's it. There's no other secret. A lot of color.
Not being stingy.
No, it doesn't work. If only with a little bit of color. You don't know how many layers there are here of this potters, not potters, red jasper. But you see, then is when you get this effect. Well, I think at least that's what works for me.
Yeah, less water, more color.
We have a
But
question
if you use water, if you use water, it needs water, but unless there is a lot of color, it will fade, you know?
We have a question from Barbara. John and maybe the rest of our friends here could help answer. Where does Quinacridone Burnt Scarlet fit on the red spectrum? Anyone?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Barbara said, where does our Quinacridone Burnt Scarlet fit on the red spectrum? Warm, very cool.
So Queen Burnt Scarlet doesn't.
I'm back.
She had to mute her mic because there's a gardener mowing her lawn.
It's
so loud.
brownish, so it will be on the warm side.
It's a great color. It's actually on the dot card right next to the English Red Earth.
Oh, Giovanni, that is pretty too,
Very beautiful.
with the potters.
So pretty.
I wonder if that could be a creative art form, just watching the flow of watercolor, like,
Yeah.
you know, within an installation of a video.
Better than watching grass grow.
Mm. Tell that gardener if you don't be quiet, you're going to give him a pair of scissors, and he's going to have to cut garden with them.
The gardener come in and take a break. because
They're
we need to
gone
paint,
now.
so we can talk.
I had a neighbor that cut their grass with scissors. I've seen it. It happens.
Really?
That's
Unbelievable.
One of my proudest days as a professional artist being in my home studio was we had a plumber come to the house, and he was working all morning and he had to take a break. So I had him come into the studio, and in his 15-minute break, he finished a watercolor for his grandma. I was so proud of him.
That's really cool.
They set him on as an apprentice, 15 minutes.
I think he gets paid more as an apprentice for plumbing.
All right, everybody, tomorrow we have Terry from Mexico will be with us, and that should be awesome. Met Terry with Stella at her home, which was wonderful. So that will be tomorrow. I apologize for the late start today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Ethel and Jen and Ian and Angela and Giovanni and Buffy. Thank all of you. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If there's something special you'd like to see, just leave it inside of the notes on Facebook because I read them, and we can go over that next week. Next week, I think we'll look at the blues. Since we did the reds, we'll look at the blues. And if you want them mixed with something, just go ahead and send some that we can have them available for Thursday. So thank you. It was great to see you, all of you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Bless you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you next week.
Everyone.